Hello, it's Shelley Harper with Conquest Journals, and this is another video in our Small Talk vlog series about running a small business in the pop culture industry. In the last video, I talked about how we got licensing, that process that we went through. In this video, I thought I would talk about some of the ways that we have gotten distribution with retailers. I don't have like a magic formula. I have not figured it out. We are not millionaires and selling out every day or anything like that. But I did find a few things that when we were able to secure distribution were helpful. And I just thought I would share those things. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you 2 or 3 things that I think are super important. The first thing is persistence. Do not give up. Once you find a contact or you get information on who you can send stuff to, not only do you send things, but then you follow up. And you follow up and you follow up again. In some cases, it's taken us, 2 or 3 years to get through or get distribution. For example, with Target.com, I was contacting the buyer for a good 2 years before they let us have some products at Target.com. The second thing to tell you is once you get distribution, it doesn't mean that, you've hit the big time or you're set for life or anything like that. A lot of retailers, and I didn't know this going into it, will try small trial quantities to begin with before they ever put you in stores, especially because there's such a robust marketplace, online marketplace. They can try, a few hundred units to see how they go with their online customer base before bringing you in store. You can't wait to do production until you get distribution, especially when you're an unknown brand. You have to show them the product. And that's the third thing, you have to show the product. And I would say, I guess the fourth point is to be yourself and just tell them like your story. To start with, as I said in my last video, a buyer at Hot Topic was at a Creation Entertainment Supernatural convention in Pasadena, and we were not licensed yet. She came up to us and was really interested in our products. I think that was in November of 2015. We started pursuing licensing. It took us 6 months to get the license and assets for Supernatural with Warner Brothers, which we were so over the moon and excited about. The first product we decided to make was the licensed convention journal because we had a lot of conventions and we knew that was kind of our bread and butter of our customer base. We could go to the conventions and sell them, and then we would figure out what else to make for Supernatural. We knew for the Supernatural fans, one thing that they would absolutely love is the John Winchester Replica journal. So we started working on that, and it's a really complex project because there are brochures and news articles, and it's a whole PU leather or faux leather binder that's custom made with different specifications and all of the different pages in here. We knew that it was going to be a long project to work on. We worked on it and we finally were able to release it on our website in June of 2017. Now remember, Hot Topic, we met the buyer in November of 2015. I had been keeping up with them the whole time. When they found out we were going to do John's journal, they were super excited, but then one of the buyers was our buyer who, found us was promoted to another position. This time was passing. What do? I just kept contacting who the new buyers were, and I kept trying to reach out over and over again. We released this in June of 2017. I don't think that they put it on their website and bought from us until February of 2018. So it was 2.5 years. I'm pretty sure that's the timeline, 2.5 years. Talk about being persistent. You just have to keep up with it. And I'm not telling you to hammer these buyers with emails every week, every day. Do it in a professional, courteous manner. Don't do it so frequently that you do become a nuisance to them, because you don't want to do that either. But they get hundreds, probably thousands of emails on a regular basis from people wanting to sell to them. You just got to keep it up in a normal flow. Just follow up. Let some time pass. Follow up again. You never know when all of a sudden they may realize that they have a spot in one of their assortments that they want to try something new, or they've seen an uptick in Supernatural sales. So they're like, okay, well, let's try this. After the John's Journal was a success online and they kept selling out, and they kept selling out with the Supernatural roadmaps, the Winchester Brothers roadmaps as well, they decided to bring them in store. And that was our first in-store experience, and it was awesome. I think it was in that summer of 2018 when they did that, and it was super, super exciting. exciting. We had them, you know, in their poly bags, got a little sticker that kind of showed what's inside. I think it's important to remember when you're doing packaging, even if you're just packaging for yourself, that if you're interested in distribution, you need to make your packaging work generally for retailers, that it has enough information and detail that they can put it in a store and customers can use it. So that's kind of our story with Hot Topic. From there, the next year, they handled some of our planners and agendas, and then they asked us to make an exclusive agenda for them, which we did for 2019. This was our Hot Topic only exclusive Supernatural agenda. And we had actually designed and planned to make, not for in-store, but they were gonna take a small quantity of Supernatural and Harry Potter agendas for 2020 to 2021. But the pandemic hit. It was a big cash outlay for us for product that we had only sold a very small quantity of, and we didn't know what the school year was gonna look like. So we shelved that and had to shift and do other things. And that's, you know, I think that's important. You have to do what you have to do for your business, and it can be painful and it can be hard, but if you can shift enough in crazy changing times like a global pandemic, then you just might be able to make it through. So after Hot Topic, we were also introduced, when we got the Harry Potter license on top of our Supernatural license, to the team at Universal Theme Parks and Resorts. I love all of the Universal people. They are so awesome. We had another product entirely that we were thinking of developing for them and pitching to them. But in the meantime, we released our very first Harry Potter planner, which was our 2019 Harry Potter planner. Oh, I love this design. They actually said, hey, we can carry some of those. What's your pricing? Blah, blah, blah. So we were able to actually sell those into the Universal Wizarding World of Harry Potter stores at the Universal Theme Parks and Resorts, which was obviously so awesome and fantastic. So when we were making 2020 planners, I worked with our contacts there to try to develop things that they could carry in park, in the Wizarding World, in those shops that would be themed and authentic. And that's when we developed the different house planners, which were Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and Ravenclaw, so that they could be sold in Universal Theme Parks and Resorts, at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, in stores there, and also at the WB Studio Tour in London, which was awesome. Here is our Gryffindor planner for 2020. I think that they sold really well at the park, so that was really awesome. Another thing to tell you about distribution is, once you sell it in, I mean, that's not the end of the story, right? The next thing you're worried about is anybody gonna buy it when they're in store? I mean, we think it's cool. Our customer base thinks it's cool, but will the general customers out there who don't know Conquest journals pick that up and think, oh, that's cool? And fortunately, enough people did that I think those sold pretty well. Target.com, I had worked on emailing them and contacting them for a long time. It was really when we had our first Harry Potter products. The buyer there, who was super, super kind and professional, gave us a chance this past year to be at Target.com. The caveat with that was they don't actually buy the inventory, so we store the inventory and we ship the orders out. So we just really had no idea what kind of sales volume we were gonna have with that. And that can be really tricky, and that's an entirely different vlog about planning your inventory, because I don't think we've cracked that code yet. Where did I find my contacts? Well, a lot of them are through those relationships, as I said in my previous video, that are super important. So a lot of times as you're in business and you meet people, you never know who they know. It doesn't hurt to ask, like, hey, do you happen to know any buyers at Hot Topic? Do you know any buyers at Box Lunch, or, you know, FYE, or any of the other people? So it was through Warner Brothers that we met the Universal people. It was through being at the convention that we met Hot Topic. Target.com, somebody else gave me that buyer's name. I know that I've also found other buyers' names through LinkedIn, so I can do some LinkedIn searches and try to reach out to them that way. We've called corporate headquarters to try to get names. It is just, sometimes buyers are interviewed and you can search for them. I mean, like, any way you can get that contact information. And it's not easy to get. It's like, I think that's one of the first really big hurdles to distribution, is finding out who to contact. And I know they make it harder because there are literally thousands of people who would be, you know, just flooding them all the time if they had all of their information out there. And some of the brands have submission, or some of the retailers have submission processes, which are great, but we have never found them to be successful for us. I mean, we have submitted to Barnes & Noble several times. We've emailed them several times, and, you know, we just have not been able to find purchase with that. But we're just gonna keep trying, and that's really the bottom line. That would be the first big hurdle to getting distribution. The second one is if you're an unknown brand and they've never seen your stuff before. I have found in my experience that none of the buyers buy off of a line sheet or a sales sheet. I mean, this was pre-pandemic, so I could be wrong now. We had to physically make the product and send samples. So we were taking a gamble. We were rolling the dice every time. And we tried to do it with smaller quantities, but it makes the pricing so much more expensive. You know, it's like that give and take. And then if they do want some, you have to be competitively priced that they're gonna wanna carry you. But if you're a small brand, your product costs are probably gonna be higher because you're making lower quantities, depending on your, you know, construction and aesthetic. Like, our planners are hardback and they're really quality, and that's something that we are really sticklers for, super high quality product, and we want everything to represent that way. That means that sometimes, you know, our product or our pricing isn't gonna be perfect for every retailer. We are more specialized. We design every page. We make everything highly designed and very thoughtful and very fan-centric. So if you get our products, you see that we are fans of everything that we do. You'll get the inside jokes and the Easter eggs that we put on the different pages. That's our differentiating factor. And I think that is the next thing to tell you is you really need to tell the retailers what your differentiating factor is. What makes you special? You know, I think when we got Harry Potter, we thought, oh, this is gonna open so many retail doors for us. And it did, but not as easily as we would have thought. And also, there's a huge amount of competition. I mean, Harry Potter's a huge brand, and there are a lot of people who have been doing it for a long time, especially in the paper goods and stationery industry. So there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of much bigger brands out there that can crank out, you know, 10 times the stuff. So what makes us special? Why would anybody want to carry us over, you know, XYZ's planner? Well, it's our details and it's our design. You know, this piece of art itself did not exist from Warner Brothers. We took pieces, and our creative director is just the best at this. We took pieces and made this design from it. So it's all approved artwork, but it's done in a way that is different. And that's what we tell everybody we talk to. If we could say one thing to a retailer, we make products that are fan art cool, but they are officially licensed. And that's our big goal. Once you get that product out there and it's in the stores and say it's selling, that's great. They may want more of that for a while. They may want more of that on a regular basis, but what's the next thing they should pick up from you? So you always have to keep planning further and further out. Get your product mix at the same time. Even as you're planning out, be flexible enough to throw something new in there that you see it's a trend. I love notepads. I didn't want to use anybody else's notepads anymore. I said, all right, well, we didn't really have this on our schedule, but I think these are a great smaller cost item. We can try some production domestically and see how they go. And fortunately, the Harry Potter notepads sold really quickly, and we knew we had something there as well. And I think our goal is to make sure that when you go to our website or when we go to a retailer, we can present them with a line instead of just saying, here's, you know, a planner. We want to be able to say, here's a planner, here's a binder, here are 3 notepads, here are some stickers, here are some decals. All of these things that give them a mix to choose from. And also for our customers who come to our website to be able to look at our shop and say, I like that, I like that, I like that. Even if they're not a planner person, they could get a notepad. Even if they're not a notepad person, they might need a binder, or they might want some stickers to decorate their stuff. I think that's the other thing, is your product mix for buyers. I think it's important. I mean, obviously our quality and our design are important, but I think the product mix is super important too. We look for holes in the market. What are they not making? So to wrap that up, I would say persistence is still the name of the game. Persistence, relationships, keep trying. If you have more questions, leave the questions in the comments below and I'll happily answer them. I may do like an FAQ follow-up vlog to this. Again, I don't have a secret formula. I don't have all of the answers, and I certainly haven't triumphed over all of the challenges of getting distribution or running a successful brand. But those are just my thoughts. Those are some of the things that we found that worked and some of the things that, you know, didn't work. Thank you so much to our editor, Alana King. Check out HotTopic.com. They have some of our supernatural merchandise still online at HotTopic.com. Again, please subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.